you about, well, who is Aon? Why is it important to have an insurance? No, the European Health Insurance Card is not applicable to you guys. The right insurance
开始了。
advice.
哦，还没。
Can you turn off your
有。
the right insurance advice, the coverage of the Aon student insurance, what happens to your insurance when you go to work or do an internship, how can you apply, pay and claim for the insurance, how does the healthcare system work in the Netherlands, a recap and your questions. But first of all, we will start with a short video, and after that we will start with the presentation.
Planning an international study? What's the one thing you can't see but should always have with you? When you're an international student, travelling to another country can be really exciting. However, some situations might be challenging
You're not
or
sharing your
difficult.
presentation.
What if you end up in a
Oh,
hospital,
sorry.
or your personal
that's really
items get
strange.
damaged or stolen? Or you want to go home because a close relative has...
Can you see this? This you can see, right? Elisha?
No, I haven't. I can't see your presentation.
Oh, that's strange. Well, let me stop and share again. I'm sorry, guys. Some difficulties. Can you see it now, Elisha?
Yes. Now.
Yes?
I can
Oh,
see it.
thank God.
Yes.
Thank God. That's okay. Well, then we will start again. Let me slideshow from the beginning. Well, what I'm going to talk about in this webinar is who is Aon? Why is it important to have an insurance? The right insurance advice. The European Health Insurance Card is not applicable to you guys. The coverage of the Aon student insurance. What happens to your insurance when you go to work or you're going to do an internship? The application, payment and claiming. The healthcare system in the Netherlands, a recap and questions. And before we start with the rest of the presentation, you will see a short video. And I hope the sound works.
Planning an international study? What's the one thing you can't see but should always have with you? When you're an international student, travelling to another country can be really exciting. However, some situations might be challenging or difficult. What if you end up in a hospital, or your personal items get damaged or stolen? Or you want to go home because a close relative has become very ill? These difficult situations can be tricky to handle, especially when you're in an unfamiliar environment and you have to deal with them in another language. Direct support in these situations from specialists can help you make better decisions. We at Aon Student Insurance are the specialists who can help you navigate through all sorts of situations with the information and advice you need so that you're safe and secure. We have supported over 200,000 international students, and our consultants are there to guide the way. So the one thing you can't see, but you should always have with you, is an international student insurance at Aon. Check out our website to discover more information and the advice best suited for you, or reach out to one of our consultants.
About Aon. I hope you enjoyed the short video on the insurance. About Aon, who is Aon and what do we do? Aon is an international advisor in risk management and an insurance broker. You may know us from your home country. We have 500 offices worldwide, approximately 60,000 employees. Here in the Netherlands, our headquarters is in Rotterdam, where I'm based alongside Elisha and Kadra as well. We have 13 offices in the Netherlands. The department we work for is the Department of International People Mobility. So that is the department handling the Aon student insurance. We have a multilingual student services team, so you are able to get your question answered in other languages than Dutch, which is handy when you are an international student. We have insured and serviced over 450,000 students in the last decade, and we are a partner of universities and universities of applied sciences here in the Netherlands, but also internationally. Why is it important to have an insurance? Well, here in the Netherlands, you are responsible for your own expenses. And by law, you are required to have a health insurance. As a student, an international student in the Netherlands, you cannot take out the Dutch basic healthcare insurance. That's the governmental, the national insurance we have here in the Netherlands, but you are required to take out a private insurance. And for that insurance, it is important, by law, as I said, to have a health as part of that insurance. The healthcare costs here in the Netherlands are quite high, maybe higher than you're used to in your own home country. A specialist consult is approximately 110 euros for only 10 minutes, and that is a consult without any examinations or blood work or x-rays or scans or, well, whatever test you need. All those extras cost money as well. An x-ray is approximately starting at 80 euros, and scans can run up, from 200 euros up to thousands of euros. A hospital bed here in the Netherlands is approximately 800 euros, and only the bed. Again, not the consults you need, the tests you need, and the ICU bed is 2,500 euros a night. So having an insurance that covers those costs is not a luxury, but a necessity, actually, because it's not only for an insurance for health, which is of course very important, but you can also get into other unforeseen circumstances, especially for you who come from countries probably far away from here. And in case you need to go back home for an emergency, it's good to know that if you have the Aon student insurance, that you are covered for that, and you can do so, and the insurance will pay for that. But also if you accidentally harm another person or another person's goods by, for instance, cycling around, your means of transportation will probably be for the major part a bicycle. And in the beginning of, when international students come to the Netherlands, they have sometimes difficulty to get used to the traffic and how things are done here. And you can get into an accident, harm another person or harm another person's goods, and then you can be held liable for that. Also possible, God forbid, but it does happen, that there's a burglary in your student room, or there is a fire or a flood, or something that's unforeseen. Then it's good to know that you are covered for those cases as well. In case of burglary and fire and flood, it is always necessary to file a police report. About claiming, we will elaborate later on in this presentation. But the point is, if you don't have an insurance and things happen, expenses happen to you, you will have to pay for all those costs yourself because the university won't pay for it and the government is not going to pay for it at all. So be aware of that. If you don't have an insurance yet, make sure you get it as soon as you are about to leave home. Here in the Netherlands, the right insurance advice is based on Dutch laws and regulations. So that means that in certain cases, certain insurances are applicable to your individual situation. If you are a non-EEA, non-EU student, there's only one possibility, and that is to take out the Aon Complete Plus insurance. A European student, I won't focus on the European students because this is a webinar for non-EU students. So if you are a non-EU student, you only can take out the Aon Complete Plus insurance. And then if you are going to work or you're going to do an internship, the whole situation changes again because yeah, it doesn't matter then if you are an EU student or a non-EU student. If you have a part-time job and you earn money, then you are by law obligated to take out the Dutch basic healthcare insurance and top-up insurance, the Start Plus. And if you are going to do an internship here in the Netherlands and you are going to earn more than the Dutch minimum wage, that's really important because if you are earning more than the Dutch minimum wage, then it's also mandatory to take out the Dutch basic healthcare insurance and a top-up insurance, the Start Plus insurance, which we recommend you to do. The coverage. Again, I will focus on the Complete Plus insurance because that's the insurance that is applicable to non-EU students. You are covered for several things. The insurance is a package insurance, which means there are several covers. The medical coverage, of course, is a coverage which gives you a certainty that you can go to a doctor if you are hospitalized, if you need to go to a specialist, if you, for instance, need physiotherapy, that's all possible and that is all covered in this insurance. Medicine is also covered, but over-the-counter medicine is not covered. Prescription medicine, which can only be obtained medicine that can only be obtained through a prescription is covered under the insurance as well. Then there's dental cost coverage, dental costs in case of an accident. If you, for instance, fall and you break your teeth and it needs to be fixed, you will be reimbursed for 1,250 euros per insurance year. And dental costs in case in the case to relieve acute pain is covered per insurance year for 350 euros. Then there is emergency assistance and repatriation. Well, that is, I think, especially for people who come from countries far away from here, a very important coverage to have. Because if there's a life-threatening situation going on in your home country with a family member, or, like your grandmother, grandfather, brother, sister, parents, and it's important that you return home to be there, then you can do so, and that will be covered under the Aon student insurance, the Complete Plus insurance. One very important thing I have to add with regard to the Complete Plus insurance is that this insurance covers pre-existing conditions as well. This means that if you have a pre-existing condition, a medical pre-existing condition, and you need to go to a doctor, that pre-existing condition will be covered as well. That's very important to know because it's very unique for private insurances to cover that. Most of the times, that's not covered under any insurance. Back to the repatriation. Sorry for that little interruption. The repatriation, as I said, if you need to go back home in case of an emergency or when somebody has perished, is covered by the insurance. Other way around is covered as well. So if there's a life-threatening situation with you going on here, and it's necessary for your family to come over, two people can come over, that is also covered by the insurance and will be paid, of course, in full, up until 7,000 euros. Then there's a liability coverage. A liability is a coverage that entails that if you accidentally harm another person, or you hurt another, well, or break another person's belongings, then you can be held liable for that. Again, the example with the bicycle, you're driving around on your bicycle, you get into an accident, you cannot stop, you run into a person and then fall on the car. Well, the car is damaged, the person is damaged, their clothes are damaged, and they both hold you responsible or liable for the damage you caused. Well, if you don't have any insurance, again, the costs occurring from that are for your own account. In this case, it's covered by the insurance. Then there's legal assistance. If you get into a dispute with your landlord or your landlady, or you are in a dispute with a shop about something you bought, you can contact us, and we will help you, because we have lawyers who are able to help you with your with the dispute you have. So accident coverage, there's a home content coverage. Home content is everything you have in your student room or your apartment, the apartment you share. If there's a theft, burglary, or there is a fire or a flood, you are covered up until 6,000 euros. And of course, there's travel coverage. We understand that, you come from countries far away from here. You are in the Netherlands now. Maybe you want to travel a little bit during your stay here in the Netherlands. Well, you can do so, and your travel will also be covered under this insurance, as long as you are a student and have taken out this insurance. So short trips, worldwide are covered. The premium of the Aon student insurance is €1.89 per day, which is approximately €56.70 per month. The way of payment can be done. We are flexible. Elisha will explain more in one of the later slides how you can pay and what the payment plan is. And then I give the floor to my colleague Elisha.
Okay, I hope everything is audible. And I hope
Yes,
you
we
can
hear
see me
you.
too. All
I
right.
cannot see you. We cannot see you.
Okay, I have turned my camera on, so
Oh, that's strange.
Yeah, I
Oh,
can
well.
Yeah,
see you.
I'm seeing.
Oh,
I
Yeah.
can see
okay.
you, ma'am.
okay.
All
Maybe
right, okay,
it's
thank you.
me.
Right, and then I'll take control of the presentation, Arti, if you'll let me, then
Yeah,
I'll take it from here.
Yes, give control. Yeah, there you go.
All right, so like Arti explained, we cover a lot under the Aon student insurance, but we don't cover everything. So let me give you some examples of what wouldn't be covered by the Aon student insurance. Damages caused by abuse of substance like drugs or alcohol. If you file a claim and we find out that you had been using drugs or drinking excessively, a reimbursement will not take place. Damages caused on purpose or by reckless behavior will not be covered. Misrepresentation of facts. When you apply for the Aon student insurance, you need to fill in the application form truthfully, or also when you file a claim form. If we find out that you have lied on your application, that's cause for us to not pay the damages that you have requested be reimbursed, and we will stop your insurance. So if there are any questions that arise from your application, we will contact you. Or if you have anything in your personal situation that you think might affect your application for insurance, please contact us and we can always talk through whatever your concerns are. Also not covered are medical procedures that can be postponed until you are back in your home country. These medical procedures will always be reviewed by a medical doctor. Preventative medication and procedures and checkups, over-the-counter medication, so medication that you can get without prescription, are not covered by the Aon student insurance. Injuries that occur or damage that occurs while practicing a sport, a type of sport that is considered a dangerous sport by Aon, that is also not reimbursed. But in your policy conditions, you can find an overview of what we consider dangerous sports. Now imagine that you have been in the Netherlands for a while and you're considering having a part-time job or an internship alongside your studies. The important thing to remember is that a part-time job contract requires you to take out Dutch basic healthcare insurance according to Dutch law. If you have an internship contract, then you need to check how much you receive in compensation. If you earn more than the threshold, so that's about 1,900 euros, then you need to switch to Dutch basic healthcare insurance. But if you earn less for your internship contract, then you're okay with your Aon student insurance. It's important to remember that if you have a part-time job contract, you always need to switch to Dutch basic healthcare insurance. It doesn't matter how much you earn. If it's a 0-hour contract or 16-hour contract, you have to switch. If you're not sure whether or not you need to switch, please contact us. In most cases, we will be able to tell you whether or not you need to, but maybe there is a bit of an unusual situation or you're self-employed, and maybe we are not completely sure because of it, and then we will ask you to obtain something called a WLZ position form. There's an institution in the Netherlands that can check your insurance position in the Netherlands, and they can tell you definitively whether or not you're okay with your Aon student insurance or if you really do need to switch. Be mindful of the fact that you need to switch when you have a part-time job, because failing to apply for the right type of insurance can cause you to be fined by the Dutch government. And then we're talking at least 496 euros to start with. And however long you don't comply to the rules and regulations, to the rules and regulations that apply to you, it's possible that the fine can keep increasing. We've had students that were owed 1,500 to 2,000 euros in fines to the Dutch government. All right, let me tell you something about the Dutch healthcare system. What do you need to do when you need a doctor? We highly recommend that you try and find a general practitioner or family doctor as soon as you arrive in the Netherlands. In the Netherlands, we have a shortage of general practitioners and many more possible patients. So trying to register with a general practitioner is a bit of a trial and error situation. In the Netherlands, we have a gatekeeper system, which means that your general practitioner is always the first point of contact if you are not feeling well. With the exception, of course, if you break something or if you're in a life-threatening situation, please go to the emergency room immediately or call 112 for an ambulance. The GP is a fully qualified doctor that can determine whatever you might need next. They can prescribe medication for you to go and pick up from the pharmacy, or if the GP isn't completely sure what's going on with you, they can always refer you to see a specialist in hospital. Without a referral from the GP, getting your medical expenses for visiting a specialist will not be reimbursed by the Aon student insurance. So it's important, if you want to see a specialist for something, to obtain a referral first. Also important, when visiting a doctor, please show up on time. As I've said, it's difficult to find a healthcare provider in the Netherlands, especially GPs. But we have a website called zorgkaart.nl, which is basically the biggest database of general practitioners and specialists, healthcare providers that we have on the internet. So I suggest that you use that as a reference material to try and find a GP near where you live. Sometimes your university also has a cooperation agreement with a specific GP dedicated specifically for students from a specific university. So definitely ask your university if they have a cooperation agreement like that. We also have some healthcare providers that we have cooperation agreements with, but that project is still developing and ongoing. So we don't have healthcare providers in every city yet, but you can definitely call us to see if we can give you a recommendation. Now, Aon provides free choice of healthcare providers. So, for example, I can imagine that you'd rather sign up with a doctor that has space for new patients closer to where you live, rather than signing up with a campus doctor, because if you're not feeling well, I can imagine you don't want to go all the way to the campus if you live nowhere near there. Something you'll probably hear quite often when you try to register for a GP is that we can't find you in the Vicoso system. The Vicoso system is the national database that registers all public healthcare registrations. But because the Aon student insurance is a private insurance, we're not registered there. So when they try to look up your policy number, they probably won't find it. It's okay. Just explain to them that you have a private insurance and that all you need from the GP is the invoice for the consult, so you can file a claim in your online personal account to request reimbursement for the expenses made. Now, you can apply for your Aon student insurance online, and we recommend that you apply before you leave home to make sure that your luggage is also covered during your travel to the Netherlands or wherever your country of destination is. You don't need a BSN to apply for it, so you don't need to register at a municipality first. If you're going on exchange, please take out the insurance for the entire duration. If you're going to study here for multiple years, we recommend that you take out insurance for at least, at minimum, 1 year. And some universities also apply for their students for at least the first year. Now, payment is flexible. You can pay per month or at once. If you apply for multiple years during your application, the option to pay per year will also become available. You can pay through direct debit if you, for example, have a European account or a Revolut account. Otherwise, you can choose the option e-invoice, so you can pay through MasterCard or Visa. But you can also pay, if you have a Dutch bank account, you can also pay through Ideal or through manual bank transfer. Now, you will not receive a payment confirmation after you've paid for an invoice, but you do have an online overview in your personal account where you can check whether or not you have paid for an invoice. Keep in mind that our website isn't capable of real-time processing, so it will take a little bit of time for the status of a paid invoice to change. Once you have applied, you are obligated to pay the premium, and failing to pay the premium might lead to you being registered as a defaulter, which means that you cannot take out insurance with Aon in the future. Now, before we get to the stage of being marked as a defaulter, if you have open invoices, we will definitely remind you several times to pay any outstanding invoices. If the university has applied for your insurance, payments is usually done through your university and often in your college tuition. You will receive your policy documents via email, and you can manage the changes you want to make through your online personal portal. If your university has applied for you, you do need to get in touch with your university to make any changes. If you're managing the personal account on your own, you can easily switch between the Aon student insurance and the Dutch basic healthcare insurance when you, for example, find a part-time job. If you have, in that instance, for example, if you have an earlier new expiration date for your Aon student insurance, anything you have paid in excess beyond the new expiration date will be refunded to you. In your online account, you can also claim for any expenses that you've had. You log into your online personal account. You click on a button that says File a Claim, and you follow the steps provided. You upload a document or photograph of any invoice that you have received and click on Submit the claim, and your request for reimbursement will end up at our claims department, and they will review your request and reimburse you according to our policy conditions. I think that's it for me.
Yeah, thank you
So
very
I'll hand
much.
back the
Yeah,
presentation to Arti.
yes, thank you. Yeah, to wrap up the presentation, the webinar, some insurance highlights regarding the Complete Plus insurance. I'm sorry. It is an insurance for international students studying or doing an internship in the Netherlands. You will have worldwide coverage. So if you need to go abroad because of your study, or you're going to do an exchange somewhere else as part of your bachelor or your master degree, you will have worldwide coverage. No need for a BSN number, as Elisha already explained to you. So you don't need that to take out the insurance. The coverage is medical, including pre-existing conditions for the actual cost. So what a consult costs is what you're going to receive, or is what the doctor is going to receive. Psychological consults are covered up until a maximum of 3,000 euros per insurance year. There's non-medical coverage like liability, your household contents, your baggage, things like that you already learned about. We have a 24/7 emergency assistance number, which you can contact if you are, for instance, admitted to a hospital and you need a guarantee of payment, which the hospital can ask of you, or you need to be repatriated back to your home country, or your family needs to come over to the Netherlands. The insurance is fully compliant for visa regulations, except for Switzerland. And Switzerland has its own rules and insurances for that. And one last but very important thing, this insurance is not eligible for healthcare allowance. The Dutch government has a subsidy which is called zorgtoeslag, translated into healthcare allowance. You can apply for healthcare allowance if you have the Dutch basic healthcare insurance, so the mandatory insurance. Only for the governmental mandatory Dutch basic healthcare insurance you can apply for healthcare allowance. If you apply for it for the Aon student insurance, you will have to pay everything back. So do not do that if you only have the Aon student insurance. Let's see. Yeah, and that brings us to the end. Service and contact. We are here to help you. If you have any questions, please contact us. You can do that by telephoning us, emailing us. You can go to our frequently asked questions section on the website, which offers you loads of information. And what I always find very, very handy is that there is a chat function, and the chat function is a real person, not a chat bot. So if you go there and you ask a question, they can help you. One of my colleagues will help you solve your problem or answer your questions. That brings us to the end of this webinar, but we're not going to leave you before we have answered your questions. Let me go to Elisha. Elisha, are there any questions?
There is one question asked by Alicia. Hi, if
Yeah.
my university was the one that contracted this insurance, how do I know how long it is valid?
Well, if it's correct, you received the policy, and on the policy, there is a starting date and there's an end date. If you cannot find it or you are not sure, you can always go to the international office or the admissions office, and they can help you with that. Or you can contact us. Thank you.
There is another question by Chelsea. Does the type of visa we are on impact the plan we are eligible for?
No, not with regard to this insurance. It may impact your status in the Netherlands, if you can work or not, but with regard to this insurance, it doesn't impact the insurance, no. Or do you or Kadra have any extra information on this?
Well, there are some visas that require a Dutch basic healthcare insurance.
Yeah,
Yeah. So, but most of the time, if you're here on a student visa, then it won't impact your ability or eligibility to apply for the Aon student insurance.
No, that's correct.
Yeah.
Let me see.
I have one
Yeah.
student who's requesting if you can put back the slide with the contact information, but I think
Of
we're going to
course.
share everything.
We're going
right?
to, we're going to share everything. So you will receive a recording, and you will receive a brochure, and you can find this the webinar, the video of the webinar on our YouTube channel, which we're also going to share with you. So, and of course, you can find the information on our website. So, loads of possibilities to find the contact information. Kadra, do you have any additional questions we need to answer?
Yeah, there's one student who wants to know how to switch to the Dutch basic healthcare insurance if they've already applied for like a complete plus insurance, for instance, in case they start working during their studies.
Yeah. Maybe you can answer that, Kadra.
Yeah, so what students can do is because the Complete Plus insurance is, you can cancel that insurance on a day-to-day basis via your online portal. And you can then apply for the Dutch Basic Healthcare Insurance from the same portal. So you can just click on Request New Insurance. You then get to see like an online form where you can fill in your details. You'll then be asked if you're working or not, and if you answer yes, you'll automatically be offered a Dutch Basic Healthcare Insurance, and you can then continue with that application.
Yeah, great. It's a very easy process, and it's always, it's always good to take out the Dutch Basic Healthcare Insurance with us, because if you need to switch back to the Complete Plus, it's easy. And if you take it out somewhere else, it can give you some hassles. So yeah, keep that in mind. Um,
Okay.
yeah, let me see.
There's a question about the GHIC, the Global Health
G,
Insurance
yeah,
part.
yeah.
Yes. Does having a GHIC impact which coverage you should get, or do you recommend just getting the level for non-EU students?
Non-EU students. That is the advice that's given right now as well, if I'm correct.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, yeah. That's yeah, no, that's a big, because yeah, the GHIC is yeah, um it gives the advice of non-EU students, the level of non-EU students. So yeah, you need to take out that one.
Okay.
Yeah,
What is advantageous paying annually or
yeah.
go
Paying
OR paying
monthly.
monthly? Yeah.
Uh,
Oh,
Yeah, or go pay. Yeah.
OR
Well, yeah.
monthly. Yeah.
Well, the advantage is that you don't have to pay everything at once. That's what the advantage is. There is no premium reduction or anything. It's just we want to cater to everyone's taste. To pay, let's say, 700 euros at once, maybe for a whole year, maybe a bit too much money. So that's why we give students the opportunity to pay monthly.
Okay, and there's another question about, let me just check. From Bora, should we contact the host institution's admissions team if they applies for the insurance for us to be able to log in on the Aon site?
Yeah, because you are, if the university applied for you, you are not yet able to log on yourself. We are working on that, but then you need to contact the institution's admissions team because they applied for you. That's correct.
Okay, I don't see any other questions in the Q&A, but I do see some
No.
students who've
Yeah.
raised their hands.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I will see if they can.
Yeah, so if they
Elizabeth
can
Rose.
if they can unmute themselves and then ask
Yeah.
the question
Hey,
Yeah.
maybe.
can
Yes.
you hear me?
Yeah, I
Yes.
can hear you. We can
Yes.
hear you. Yeah.
Okay. So, if I have a prescription medicine that I have right now and I'm going to continue to have during my stay at the Netherlands, how does that work?
Well, the thing is that here in the Netherlands, although you do have a prescription from your current physician, you will need to go to a doctor here to get a new prescription. What I would recommend is that you bring along, some sort of a letter from your current physician stating why you need it and why he's giving it to you, so you can give that to the doctor here in the Netherlands, and they can uh, prescribe that for you. That's most of the times how it's done here in the Netherlands.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, the next one are are Ryan.
It's Raymond. Yeah.
Yeah,
So I had a question regarding the reimbursement. So in the
yeah,
cases of, let's say, quite expensive medical care, so
yeah,
if we need to pay at a public hospital and the total bill might be around a couple thousand euros,
yeah.
according to the presentation, it's that we pay it first and then we get reimbursed. But let's say
Mm.
it's a staggering amount and that a student cannot handle it?
No.
How is it meant to be made?
No, you don't have to pay, if you are admitted to the hospital, you don't have to pay the hospital bill. No, what will happen is that's why we have the emergency number. If it's, after hours, after working hours or in the weekend, if you are admitted to the hospital or you are expecting high bills, in the case of you are expecting high bills, always contact one of my colleagues at the office so they can make sure that the hospital or the doctor is paid directly. And in case you are admitted to the hospital, you can always contact our emergency number and get a guarantee of payment done. So everything will be paid directly to the hospital. So that's how it's done. You don't have to pay, thousands of euros in advance to, yourself.
Okay, and is it even for normal appointments, like with a specialist, like a dermatologist or a neurologist, for example?
Depending on how they give you the invoice. Sometimes they send the invoice to your address, and then you can upload it in the system, and we can pay directly to the healthcare provider. But in sometimes, and that's when you go to a GP, they ask you to pay upfront, and that's approximately, 35 euros to 40 euros because the GP has a fixed rate. Then you have to, what you then do is that you pay in advance. Well, you pay yourself and then go to the website immediately and upload your invoice so we can reimburse you within, a couple of days.
Oh, understood. Just one last question.
Yeah.
Would it also cover like any public hospital? Like, is there a list of approved public hospitals that Aon covers?
Well, all public hospitals are covered. We don't have here in the Netherlands, there are no private hospitals like you have, in Singapore or in America. We don't have that. There are
Oh, okay.
certain, clinics, we call them. Those are, they're not private, but they're not under the scope of the public hospital. But even those are most of the time covered because they work together with the public hospitals. But if you need to go to one, always check first if it's covered.
I understand. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Have a nice time here. Any other raised
Yeah,
hands? Yeah, oh,
Florence,
great.
I'm listening.
Yeah, yeah. Yes, go ahead. Glorious?
I don't know if
Oh,
you can
oh,
hear her.
sorry.
Yes.
Sorry. I have two questions. One is, does the insurance cover me on the day when I am in the fight, or it starts when I enter the Netherlands?
Sorry,
This is
can you
one.
please repeat that?
Oh, does the insurance cover me on the day when I am in the fight, or
In
does
a
it, you know,
In a
when I
what?
in a
Yeah.
in a plan in a plan?
So what we recommend you to do
Uh,
is apply when you're about to leave home in your home country to make
uh.
sure that your flight to the Netherlands is also covered and that you have your luggage covered.
Oh, yeah. And the second question is, I saw one page show that insurance covers luggage, including contact lenses and glasses. What does it
Mhm.
mean?
Well, it means that when you're in transit, so when you're traveling from your home country to the Netherlands or from the Netherlands back to your home country, and something happens to your glasses or you lose your contact lenses, your glasses get damaged, then we
Oh,
have some coverage for that type of damage.
oh, okay. Thank you. Happy New Year.
Yeah, you too.
you
Thank
too.
you.
You're welcome.
Okay, and VJ still has his
Yeah.
hand raised for a question. Maybe
Yeah,
unmute yourself.
yeah. Am I audible to everyone?
Yes, you are.
Yes.
Yes.
Hi. I hope everyone is doing well. Um, Basically, I have only two questions. The first will be like, are we eligible for the insurance allowance from the Dutch government after we will going to buy this allowance? After this, after we will going to buy this insurance.
Yadra, can you
Yeah,
answer
so
this?
the healthcare allowance is linked to the Dutch basic healthcare insurance. And it's meant for working students in this particular case. So if you're working and you have the Dutch basic healthcare insurance, you can then apply for the healthcare allowance. The reason the Dutch government basically issues the healthcare allowance is it basically acts as government aid. So depending on your income, you'll basically get a certain amount per month to help pay for your premiums because the premiums for the Dutch basic healthcare insurance are a bit high, and that's the reason the healthcare allowance exists. But for a regular student insurance, like a complete insurance or a complete plus insurance, it does not apply. It's private insurance, and only for the
Okay.
Dutch basic healthcare insurance you can basically get the healthcare allowance.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I get it. But so like in the first month, like before, well I think for the part-time jobs, obviously we required the BSN number. So
Yes.
before that, like in the first month, I can buy that what we call that travel insurance, right? So after that, we can easily when I get my part-time job, so we can easily like change it to the that government insurance. So that will be possible, right?
Yeah, so if you have a student insurance and you start working during your studies, you can then switch from the student insurance to the Dutch basic healthcare insurance. That is possible.
And the travel insurance can also be possible, like if I'm coming for the studies for 1 month. So that is also possible, right?
What do you mean with travel insurance?
Like there are a lot of companies, like basically I'm from India, so there
Okay.
are a lot of companies who are providing travel insurance for even for 1 year also. But like my second question was that I can be eligible for the allowance for the if I'm going to pay for 1 year of insurance like travel insurance, but like you already told me that it is only for the people who are applying for the government insurance, right? So
Exactly, yeah.
yeah, so basically
Yes.
I'm asking like it will be better and cheaper for me if I in the initial month or first month I'll just apply for that travel insurance because it will only going to cost me like $20.
Yeah,
20.
but the thing is, you have to be aware of the fact that it is travel insurance. So if you need any doctor, for instance, in that month and something happens, the travel insurance most of the times has a very fixed amount in dollars, and it's most of the times approximately $10,000 dollars or something.
It's like
Uh,
60,000.
sorry,
Yeah, it is
sorry.
$60,000.
Okay. Um, you have to be aware that there are all sorts of restrictions on the travel insurance, but it's of course your own choice to do that.
Okay.
It is possible, but we do not recommend it.
Okay. 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 No problem. You answered my
Yes,
questions. Yeah, perfect. Thank you so much.
you're welcome.
Okay, and Annabelle can unmute yourself to pose the question.
Hiya, thank you. I've just got a question about volunteering. So I know you said that you transfer to the other type of insurance if you're doing a placement, but where does volunteering fall into that? Like, do you need to have a contract to fall into the more upgraded insurance?
Yeah, so for yeah, if you're volunteering, I'm assuming you're not receiving an income in that case.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so in that case, you can just stay under the student insurance. If you start working and you receive an income in the Netherlands, you then have to apply for what is called the Dutch basic healthcare insurance.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Of course.
Okay,
Okay,
now
and
one more question, one
yeah.
last question.
Yeah,
KS?
hello.
Hi.
Yeah, hi. Thank you for the wonderful webinar. And my question is
Thank
on
you.
what Vijay Sethi asked, like the travel insurance. I see, I just gone through this Aeon Insurance through your website, and I see the complete plus covers health, travel, and stay. So does that mean that if I am starting to travel, like my planned fly is on 23rd of Jan to Netherlands? So if I'm opting this insurance from 23rd, does that cover my travel also in that
Yes.
insurance?
Yes, it does. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we have time for one more, if there is any more. If there are any more questions. No questions? Well, then I'm going to wrap it up. Well, thank you for attending. Oh, I see Brian has a question.
Yes, so sorry to prolong your
Yeah.
meeting. I just had a question, like, for example, if I'm coming on the 1st of February, and of course, in the summer, I assume most of us would be leaving for a temporary
Yeah.
time. So could we opt the insurance for, let's say, from Feb till the end of June, and then come back
That
in September and start
yeah.
again?
That is possible. Yeah, that's not a problem. You can also, because you do have coverage up until 6 weeks in your home country during a holiday. So if you're not going to stay longer than 6 weeks in your home country, then you can also keep the insurance running. But of course, you can stop it, and once you come back, you apply again.
I understand. Thank you so much, and thank you for the
Mia?
wonderful seminar.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Well, as I said, I'm going to wrap up. I would like to thank you all for attending, for all your great questions. And well, Elisha, Kara, and I are wishing you on behalf of Aeon lots of success here in the Netherlands, and good luck with your studies. And don't forget to enjoy your time in the Netherlands. And Kara and Elisha, thanks for doing this again with me. A pleasure, as always. Thank you very much, and have a good day. Bye.
Bye.